It's me again, Hank the Cowdog. I just got some terrible news. There's been a murder on the ranch. I know I shouldn't blame myself. I mean, a dog is only a dog. He can't be everywhere at once. Now, when I took this job as head of ranch security, I knew that I was only flesh and blood. 4 legs, a tail, a couple of ears. Pretty nice kind of nose that women really go for. 2 bushels of hair, and another half bushel of Mexican sandburrs. You add all that up, you don't get Superman, no, just me. Good old easygoing Hank, who works hard, tries to do his job, and gets very little cooperation from anyone else around here. I'm not complaining. I knew this would be an easy job, wouldn't be an easy job. It took a special kind of dog, strong, fearless, dedicated, and above all, smart. Obviously, Drover didn't fit. The job fell on my shoulders, and it was my destiny. I couldn't escape the broom of history that swept through. Anyway, I took the job. Head of ranch security. Gee, I was proud of that title. Just the sound of it made my tail wag. But now this murder right here under my nose. I know I shouldn't blame myself, but I do. I got the report this morning around dawn. I'd been up most of the night patrolling the northern perimeters of ranch headquarters. I heard some coyotes yapping up there. I went to check it out. I told Drover where I was going, and he came up lame all of a sudden. He needed to rest his right front leg, so I went alone. Didn't find anything. The coyotes stayed out in the pasture. I figured they were 2, maybe 3 of them. They yapped for a couple of hours, making fun of me, calling me ugly names, and daring me to come out and fight. Well, you know me. I'm no dummy. There's a thin line between heroism and stupidity, and I try to stay south of it. I didn't go out and fight, but I answered them bark for bark, yep for yap, name for name. The coyote hadn't been built who can out-yap Hank the Cowdog. A little before dawn, Loper, one of the cowboys on this outfit, stuck his head out the door and yellered, "Shut up, you idiot! Quit that yapping!" I thought he was there. I guess he only thought that there was only one coyote out there. They kept it up, and I gave it back to him. Next time Loper came to the door, he was armed, fired a gun into the air, and squalled something about how a man couldn't get sleep around here with all the dadgum noise. And I agreed. Would you believe it? Them coyotes yapped even louder, and I had no choice but to give it back to 'em. Loper came out on the back porch and fired another shot. This one came so close I heard the hum. Loper must have lost his bearings or something. So I decided that I would bark even louder and give him my position, to let him know that I was out here protecting the ranch. The next bullet done near got me. I felt the wind of it as it whisked right past. That was enough for me. I shut it down for the night. If Loper couldn't aim any better than that, well, he was liable to hurt somebody. I laid low for a while, hiding in the shelter belt, until I was sure the artillery had gone back to bed. And then I went down for a roll in the sewer, cleaned up, washed myself real good, came out feeling refreshed and ready to catch up on my sleep. Trotted down to the gas tanks and found Drover curled up in my favorite spot. I growled at him, and he didn't respond. "Beat it, son. Make way for the night patrol." He didn't want to move, so I went to sterner measures. I put some fangs in him. That moved him, and he didn't show no signs of lameness either. I have an idea that where Drover is lamest is between his ears. I did my usual bedtime ritual of walking a tight circle around my bed until I found exactly the spot I wanted, and then I flopped down. Oh, and that felt good. I wiggled around and finally came to rest with all four paws sticking up in the air, and I dozed my eyes and had some wonderful twitching dreams about... I don't quite recall the subject matter, but most likely they were about Beulah. And the neighbor's collie, I dream about her a lot. What a woman. Makes my whole heart pound just to think about her. Beautiful brown and white hair, big eyes, nose that tapers down to a point. Not quite as good as mine, but so what? And nice ears that flaps when she runs. Only trouble is she's crazy about a spotted bird dog. Without a doubt the ugliest, dumbest, worthless cur I ever met. What could be uglier than a spotted short-haired dog with a long skinny tail? And what could be dumber or more worthless than a dog that goes around chasing birds? They call him Plato. I don't know why, except maybe his eyes look like plates half the time. Empty plates. He didn't know a cow from a sow, but do you think that makes him humble? No, sir. He thinks that bird chasing is hot stuff. What really hurts, though, is that Beulah seems to agree. Don't understand that woman, but I dream about her a lot. Anyway, where was I? Under the gas tanks, catching up on my sleep. All at once, the drover was right there beside me, jumping up and down and giving that high-pitched squeal of his that kind of bores into your eardrums. You can't ignore him when he does like that. Well, I throwed open one eye, kept the other eye shut so I could get some halfway sleep. Will you shut up? Oh, Hank, Hanky, it's terrible. You wouldn't believe. Hurry and wake up. I seen his tracks down by the creek. Get up before he escapes. I throwed one eye open, pushed myself up, and went nose to nose with the noisemaker. Quit hopping around. Quit making that racket. Hold still and state your business. Okay, Hank. All right. I'll try. He tried, and he was none too successful, but they get the message across. Oh, Hank, there's been a killing. There's been a killing right here on the ranch. We slept right through it. Huh? I was coming awake by then, and the word, killing, sent the jolt clean out the end of my tail. Who's been killed? They hit the Hank, they hit the chicken house, Hank. I don't know how they got in, but they did. They busted in, killed one of the big leghorn hens, killed her dead. Hank, oh, the blood. Well, that settled it. I had no choice but to go back on duty. Now, a lot of dogs have just turned over and gone back to sleep, but I take this stuff pretty serious. We trotted up to the chicken house, and Drover kept jumping up and down and talking. I found some tracks down by the creek. I'm sure they belong to the killer, Hank. I just sure they do. What kind of tracks? Coyote! Well, we reached the chicken house, and sure enough, there was that hen lying on the ground, and she was still dead. I walked around the body, sniffing it good, checking the signs. I noticed the position of the body and memorized every detail. The hen was lying on her left side, pointing toward the northeast, with one foot out, the other one curled up under her wing. Her mouth was open, and it appeared to me that she had missing some tail feathers. I see a pattern. What? Tell me, Hank, who done it? Not yet. We're here. Where did you see them tracks? There aren't any tracks around the corpse ground. It was too hard. The drover took off in a run. I followed him down by the bush along the creek. He stopped, pointed to some fresh tracks in the mud. There they are, Hank. There they are. They just found them just right there. Are you proud of me? I pushed him aside and studied the signs, looked over real careful, sniffed it, gave it the full treatment, and then I raised up. Okay, I got it now. It's all clear. Them's raccoon tracks, son, not coyote. I can tell from the scent. Raccoons must have attacked while I was out on patrol. They're sneaky. You gotta watch 'em every minute. Drover squinted at the tracks. Are you sure they're raccoon tracks? They sure look like coyote to me. You don't go by the look, son. You go by the smell. The nose of mine don't lie. If it says raccoon, you better believe there's a raccoon at the end of them tracks, and I'm gonna fixin' to clean the house with him. Stay behind me and don't get hurt. Well, I threaded my way through the creek willows, over the sand, through the water. Never lost a scent. In the heat of the chase, all my senses come alive and point like a blazing arrow toward the enemy. In a way, I felt sorry for him. Even though he committed a crime and become my mortal enemy, with me on the trail, the little guy didn't stand a chance. One of the big disadvantages of being as big and deadly as I am is that sometimes you find yourself sympathy for the other guy. But being head of ranch security is learning to ignore that kind of emotion. I mean, to hold down this job, you gotta be cold and hard. The scent was getting stronger all the time, and it didn't smell exactly like any raccoon I'd come across before. All at once I saw him. I stopped dead still, and Drover, the little dummy, ran right into me and almost had a heart attack. I guess he thought I was a giant raccoon or something. It's hard to say what he thinks. The coon was hiding in some bushes about 5 feet in front of me. I could hear him chewing on something, and that smell was real strong now. What's that? Said Drover. Raccoon, what do you think? I glanced back at him. He was shaking with fear. You ready for some combat experience? Yes! Right there. Here's the plan. I'll jump him and try to get him behind the neck. You come on a second wave and take him what you can. If you run away like you did last time, I'll sweep the corral with you and give you a whooping you won't forget. All right, let's move out. I crouched down and crept forward. Every muscle in my highly conditioned body was taut, ready for action. 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2. I sprang through the air and hit right down in the middle of the biggest porcupine you ever did see. And tomorrow night, Chapter 2, Quills, just part of the job.